One of the most beautiful and famous Greek myths is the story of Pandora and the box. Pandora and the box. In Greek mythology, Pandora was the first woman created by the gods. After Prometheus stole fire from Zeus and gave it to mankind, Zeus was furious and decided to punish humanity. He ordered the blacksmith god Hephaestus to create a beautiful woman from clay and water. This woman was gifted with special qualities by the other gods: beauty, ingenuity, and the ability to seduce. She was named Pandora, which means receiver of all gifts. Zeus then gave Pandora a box or jar, depending on the translation, with a command not to open it. However, Pandora could not resist her curiosity. One day, she opened the box and immediately all the world's evils, disease, suffering, hunger, war, flew out and spread throughout the world. Pandora panicked and quickly closed the box, but it was too late. The only thing left in the box was hope. Even though the world was covered in suffering and despair, hope still existed to help people continue to live and overcome difficulties. The story of Pandora and the box is one of the myths with profound philosophical meaning, proving that people have to face adversity but never give up. One of the most well-known and fascinating Greek myths is the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. Theseus and the Minotaur. In the ancient city of Athens, every year, King Minos of Crete demanded that Athens send 7 young men and 7 young women as a tribute to Crete. These young Athenians were sent into the labyrinth, a massive maze designed by the architect Daedalus, where they were devoured by the Minotaur, a fearsome creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. Theseus, the prince of Athens, volunteered to be one of the tributes, determined to kill the Minotaur and end the cycle of sacrifice. When Theseus arrived in Crete, he met Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos. Ariadne fell in love with Theseus and decided to help him. She gave him a ball of thread, advising him to tie one end at the entrance of the labyrinth and unwind it as he ventured inside. This way, he would be able to find his way back out after facing the Minotaur. Theseus bravely entered the labyrinth, and after a tense and dangerous journey, he encountered the Minotaur. Using his strength and cunning, Theseus managed to kill the beast. Following Ariadne's advice, he then used the thread to retrace his steps and escape the maze. Theseus returned to Athens as a hero, having freed his city from the terrible burden of the Minotaur and the annual sacrifices. The story of Theseus and the Minotaur is a tale of bravery, cleverness, and overcoming impossible odds, and it remains one of the most celebrated myths of ancient Greece. A great Greek myth is the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. Orpheus and Eurydice. Orpheus was a legendary musician, poet, and prophet in ancient Greek mythology, known for his ability to charm anyone, even rocks and trees, with his music. He fell deeply in love with Eurydice, a beautiful nymph, and they were soon married. However, their happiness was short-lived. One day, while fleeing from a satyr who was pursuing her, Eurydice stepped on a snake and was bitten, dying instantly. Heartbroken, Orpheus decided to go to the underworld to bring her back to life. With his lyre in hand, Orpheus played such a beautiful and sorrowful tune that it moved Hades, the god of the underworld, and his wife, Persephone. They agreed to let Eurydice return with Orpheus to the world of the living, but with one condition. Orpheus must not look back at her until they had both reached the surface. Orpheus led Eurydice through the dark and winding paths of the underworld, playing his lyre to keep his resolve. However, just as they were about to reach the surface, Orpheus, overcome with doubt and anxiety, turned around to look at Eurydice. The moment he did, she was pulled back into the underworld, lost to him forever. Devastated by his loss, Orpheus wandered the earth in grief, playing mournful songs until he eventually met a tragic end. The story of Orpheus and Eurydice is a poignant tale of love, loss, and the consequences of doubt. It highlights the power of art and music, but also serves as a reminder of the fragility of human emotions and the irreversible nature of some mistakes. Another captivating Greek myth is the story of Persephone and the underworld. Persephone and the underworld. Persephone was the beautiful daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and fertility. One day, while Persephone was picking flowers in a meadow, Hades, the god of the underworld, saw her and fell in love with her. He decided to abduct her and take her to his dark kingdom to be his queen. Demeter was heartbroken when she discovered that her daughter was missing. She searched the earth for Persephone, and in her grief, she neglected her duties, causing the earth to become barren. Crops failed, and famines spread across the land. The gods grew worried and pleaded with Demeter to restore the earth's fertility, but she refused until her daughter was returned to her. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Persephone was also deeply unhappy. Hades, hoping to make her stay more permanent, tricked her into eating pomegranate seeds, knowing that if she consumed food from the underworld, she would be bound to it forever. Persephone ate 6 seeds. Eventually, Zeus, the king of the gods, intervened. He sent Hermes, the messenger god, to the underworld to negotiate Persephone's release. Hades agreed to let Persephone return to her mother. But because she had eaten the pomegranate seeds, she was forced to spend part of the year in the underworld with Hades and the rest with her mother on Earth. This myth explains the changing seasons. When Persephone is with Hades, Demeter mourns, and the earth experiences fall and winter. When Persephone returns to the surface, Demeter is joyful, and the earth becomes fertile again, bringing spring and summer. The story of Persephone and the underworld is a powerful tale that illustrates the cycles of nature, the inevitability of change, and the balance between life and death. A classic Greek myth is the story of Icarus and Daedalus. Icarus and Daedalus was a brilliant inventor and craftsman in ancient Greece, known for his incredible creations. One of his most famous works was the Labyrinth, a complex maze on the island of Crete designed to imprison the Minotaur, a fearsome creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. After building the labyrinth, Daedalus and his son, Icarus, were imprisoned by King Minos to prevent them from sharing the secrets of the maze. Determined to escape, Daedalus used his ingenuity to fashion 2 pairs of wings out of feathers and wax for himself and his son. Before they took off, Daedalus warned Icarus not to fly too close to the sun, as the heat would melt the wax, nor too close to the sea, as the moisture would dampen the feathers. Excited by the thrill of flight, Icarus initially followed his father's advice, but soon he grew overconfident and began to fly higher and higher, closer to the sun. As Daedalus had feared, the heat of the sun melted the wax holding the feathers together, and Icarus's wings disintegrated. He plunged into the sea and drowned. Daedalus, heartbroken, continued on his journey and eventually reached safety. The sea where Icarus fell was later named the Icarian Sea in his memory. The myth of Icarus and Daedalus is a timeless lesson about the dangers of hubris, overambition, and ignoring wise counsel. It also explores the balance between freedom and restraint, illustrating the consequences of pushing limits without considering the risks. A compelling Greek myth is the story of the 12 labors of Heracles, also known as Hercules in Roman mythology. The 12 labors of Heracles was the son of Zeus and the mortal woman Alcmene, making him a demigod with immense strength and courage. However, Hera, the wife of Zeus, was jealous of Heracles and sought to make his life difficult. Under her influence, Heracles was driven to madness and, in a tragic moment, killed his own wife and children. Devastated by what he had done, Heracles sought to atone for his sins. He consulted the oracle of Delphi, who told him to serve King Eurystheus for 12 years and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks, known as the 12 labors. Slay the Nemean lion. Heracles had to defeat the invulnerable Nemean lion. He strangled the beast with his bare hands and used its own claws to skin it, wearing the pelt as armor. Slay the nine-headed Lernaean hydra. Capture the golden hind of Artemis. Capture the Erymanthian boar. Clean the Argean stables in a single day. Heracles was ordered to clean the filthy stables of King Argaeus, which had not been cleaned in years. He accomplished this by rerouting 2 rivers to wash out the filth. Slay the Stymphalian birds. These were man-eating birds with bronze beaks and metallic feathers. Heracles scared them into the air with a rattle and shot them down with his arrows. Capture the Cretan bull. Steal the mares of Diomedes. Obtain the girdle of Hippolyta. Capture the cattle of Geryon. Steal the apples of the Hesperides. Capture Cerberus. Through these labors, Heracles proved his strength, courage, and endurance, ultimately achieving redemption and earning his place as one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology. His story is one of overcoming insurmountable challenges and seeking atonement for past wrongs.